To all the women out there, do you still remember the day when your boyfriend proposed to you? In this episode, we're gonna take a look at how God proposed to Israel. Hi, Keduvan here, and welcome to another episode of Week at a Glance, where we dive into a thoughtful summary of this week's Bible study guide. Welcome to another episode of our series on the Covenant. In the last episode, we traced the true Israel in the course of human history. Today, we are going to be talking about Israel's journey from Egypt to the desert. Now, let's get this straight. The children of Israel were slaves in Egypt, but they had not always been slaves. They were descendants of a promise. While in Egypt, they had kept themselves a distinct race, having nothing in common with the Egyptians in customs and also in religion. I can imagine how they longed to break free from the shackles of slavery, and one thing filled their mind, and that was to run away from Egypt and occupy the land of promise, the one that was promised to their forefathers. But how are they going to do that? Let's put this question right here. We're going to come back to that later. So, God had revealed to the elders of Israel that the time for their deliverance was near, and that He was going to accomplish this through Prince Moses. There was only one problem. Moses went AWOL. Moses left, leaving the Hebrew slaves hopeless. Oh, the end of the story. Well, that's it for today. In summary, here are different points that we talked about. Wait. There's more to it, right? How did the story unfold? The title of this episode is Covenant at Sinai. Now, here are the important points to remember for today's episode. Our first point is the God of the Sinai Covenant. Now, let's look at this question once again. Let's pick it up. How are they going to go out of Egypt and inherit the promised land? Approximately 400 kilometers from Egypt, God appeared to Moses and reactivated him to fulfill his divine mission. Do you know where God appeared to Moses? At Mount Horeb, the mountain of God. Now, Horeb and Sinai are two names for the same mountain. Look at this passage here and also here. God told Moses that when you have brought the people out of Egypt, you shall serve God on this mountain. And here God explained to Moses the name by which he had made himself known to Abraham at the making of the covenant. The God who saved Israel from Egypt and the divine initiator of the covenant at Sinai was the same God who made the covenants with Adam, with Noah, and also with Abraham. And before entering a covenant with Israel as a nation, God reminded them of His gracious acts on their behalf. He used the picture of an eagle carrying an eaglet and the picture of a parent carrying his child to illustrate God's care and protection for Israel. And what is even more amazing is that God didn't force His covenant on them. He didn't say, hey, here is my covenant with all the blah, 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 all the stipulations, regulations, and the rules. Follow this and I will deliver you out of slavery. What God did was He saved them and then He made a covenant with them. Now think about your own life. Are you trying to keep God's covenant so that God will save you from the slavery of sin? Or has God saved you and this is why you love to keep His covenant? Think about that. Now let's move on to our next point. Our second point is God's plan in the Sinai covenant. God clearly laid out His proposal before Israel, and it came with three major benefits. First one, Israel will be a treasured possession of God. And second, Israel will be a kingdom of priests. And third, Israel will be a holy nation. This covenant could take effect if they agreed to it. If they agreed to it, then they should respond in faith to this gracious offer from God and be obedient to it. God was hoping that through them, He could accomplish the plan of salvation. The Sinai covenant is actually the fourth in a series of covenants that started with Adam, with Noah, with Abraham, and now with Israel. The covenant between God and Israel was designed to make possible the deepest relationship between God Himself and His people. This covenant is very significant because it is a fuller revelation of God's plan of salvation. Through the types and the symbols of the sanctuary, the people could look forward in faith to this ultimate sacrifice, to the ultimate sacrifice of the Messiah. Israel, on the other hand, they just wanted their freedom and also to inherit the promised land. But they couldn't get it yet because they just got out of Egypt. And they didn't have the strength to drive other nations out of the promised land. If they didn't get to go to the promised land, then they would just be wanderers, forever nomads. So their best shot was actually to stick to God's plan. Now let's go and see how Israel responded to God's proposal. Our third and final point is Israel's response to the Sinai covenant. 3 months after Israel was liberated from the bondage of slavery, God appeared to Moses and proposed to them God's covenant. In Exodus chapter 19, it tells us of Israel's response. Then all the people answered together and said, "All that the Lord has spoken we will do." So Moses brought back the words of the people to the Lord. Let's look at another passage in Exodus chapter 24. And all the people answered with one voice and said, "All the words which the Lord has said we will do." In the two passages we read, Israel made a favorable decision to accept and do what was required of the covenant. Obedience was and still is God's expected response from his people in this covenant relationship. It would have been nice if the story had ended here, where Israel said, "Yes, everything the Lord said we will do." But the entire Old Testament is a story of Israel's rebellion and unfaithfulness against God's covenant, and maybe a few revivals here and there. However desirable their answer may have been, they entered into this covenant with a superficial understanding of God's covenant. And not long after that, the people forgot about their covenant with God, and then they worshiped the golden calf. Remember in Exodus chapter 32, while Moses was up in the mountain receiving the 10 commandments? In the New Testament, Israel lost its election as the treasured, the priestly, and the holy nation, and it got transferred to the followers of Jesus. And you know what? God's covenant continues, and you are part of the priestly nation. You have been entrusted with this incredible and amazing duty, responsibility that Israel failed to carry out. How do you respond? The choice is yours. In summary, here are the different points that we talked about in today's episode. Point number 1, the God of the Sinai covenant. Point number 2, God's plan in the Sinai covenant. And point number 3, Israel's response to the Sinai covenant. If you want to help this ministry, then give this video a thumbs up, as that tells YouTube to share to more people. And don't forget to share it with a friend. Spread the word and change lives one message at a time. And if you want to watch more summaries like this, then click on this video right here. This is again Kayo Duvan for Week at a Glance. I'll see you in the next video.